I actually wrote like my first song at like 8 years old.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I was like, I was like, I knew that I wanted to write songs and I was like, I want to do this. And I saw guitar as like a facet or like a something that will help me.
Well, thank you so much for doing this. I'm Adam, and this is about you and your journey in music. And we'll talk about your new song.
Yay. Okay, sweet.
Awesome. So I did read you're from the Bay Area, right?
I am. Yeah, I'm from San Jose.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm from San Diego, and I lived up in like Oakland area for about 5 years. I did radio up there.
Oh my gosh, I just did a little showcase up in Oakland. So that's so crazy though. I'm always like in San Francisco, Oakland area. Yeah.
That's
That's
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah, I loved it up there. It was great. And now I live in Nashville, Tennessee, but
Oh,
I was always from California kid and spent my pretty much my entire life there. So yeah, that's awesome. I saw that you're from the Bay
wow.
Area. Some When people say Bay Area, it's like it's so big, it's hard to pinpoint exactly where they grew up. But San Jose.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's amazing. Is it like very different than
Oh,
from
it's
over here?
yeah, 100%. But I love it here. I have like, wife and two kids, and
Oh my
we have more
gosh.
space, and it's just a different vibe for sure. A lot slower pace out here in Tennessee.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, that's definitely different than especially like the Bay Area.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like San Francisco is
Yeah.
go go go. So even San Diego is pretty quick pace compared to here. So, but we love
Yeah.
it.
Oh my gosh. No, I mean, that sounds awesome. I know I've always wanted to go. I've never been to Nashville.
Oh, well, you should come.
Yeah.
You're a songwriter. A
I
lot of
know.
them
It's
here.
so weird. I've never been.
Yeah. Well, so San Jose, tell me about growing up in San Jose.
Yeah, so oh my goodness. I mean, I grew up a little bit like closer to the mountains. I recently moved to San Jose. But yeah, I love it. People are there's like a strong like community over here. I feel like just
Sure.
of like if I feel like in music, but like also especially in like coffee, like people are I don't know, it just feels like home to me, but maybe that's just because I've grown up here.
Hmm.
I love it. I think what's great we can, go to the beach in like 20 minutes and then we could like go to like San Francisco for 45-minute drive, but I love it.
Yeah, you can drive. I mean, you could drive to uh what is it? It's like Tahoe. I mean, that's super close, but I mean there's so many possibilities living right in that area.
Yeah, no, I think like you get a little bit of everything. And so I think that's why I really appreciate this area.
Sure, sure. Did you go to
Yeah.
like growing up, would you go see shows at like Shoreline and that
Yeah.
kind of okay.
Yes, shoreline. Oh my gosh. It's weird. I used to like really, well, it's not weird, but it's strange because I don't listen to as much country music now. But yeah, I used to go to a lot of like country concerts over at Shoreline.
Oh, that's funny.
Um, and yeah, that's like an iconic thing for, I feel like growing up here. Yeah, people just, the
It's a cool
Shoreline
venue. I mean,
concert.
they definitely if it holds a lot, so it's bigger bands. The radio station I work for used to do big shows over there every year. Two of them, I think. Yeah. Like
Oh,
or
yeah.
one, BFD was the big one that we would do. I worked for
Oh,
Live 105.
nice.
If that they're called like Dave FM or something like that. Dan
Yeah,
FM. I
no.
don't even know what it is anymore.
BFD is huge. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I loved it up there. So
Yeah.
what about music? How did you get into music? Do you come from a musical household?
It's funny because I grew up in a family of real estate agents. So everyone
Oh,
in my family does real estate except me. But it's also a little bit of a backstory though. Like my dad, he like help like he does a little bit of real estate, but he has also been in like the music industry. So he knows like the business portion of it.
oh,
But
that's
nobody in
great.
my family is like a musician. So he would always like it's so random. So he would always bring over his like musician friends and he did a lot of stuff in like TV and film with music. So also randomly. So I was always like like, oh my gosh, wow, this is so cool, Dad. Like, I want to get into this. And, he told me like, wow, this is like, I mean, that's great. It's like a hard industry, but like we'll do it together. So he really helped me in like finding my footing in music. And
Mhm.
like even to this day, like he's been this whole past week, he's helped me with this whole project I've got going on. So yeah.
That's
Yeah,
amazing. So
he
yeah,
got me
he
involved.
knows the business side of it, which a lot of people don't understand or know going
Yeah.
into this.
I feel very, very blessed to have his knowledge and guidance to be able to, tell when things are like, I don't know, like nobody has your, I
Best
mean, people
interest.
can have your best interest, but like your dad, like your family is going to have
Yeah.
your best interest. So it's been like really great to have his input and his like guidance and everything because yeah, he has my best interests.
Sure. That's
Yeah,
cool. And what about
yeah.
an instrument? How old were you when did you like learn piano at an early age, guitar at an early age? Where did you start out?
Yes, that's funny. So my main instrument is guitar, but I
Uh-huh.
actually started playing piano first. And then me and my sister, we were like forced to take piano lessons. And we were like, no, like we're bored of this. So
Right.
my parents are like, okay, fine, you guys can quit. And I was like, I really want to learn guitar though. So I think I was like 6 when I started playing piano, but 9 when I started playing guitar. So I've been playing it ever since I was 9 years old. Yeah.
That's wild. Did you
Yeah.
have like a little like I mean to be 9 and some of the necks on the guitar are pretty big. Like were you playing an acoustic guitar?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's what was funny is because I think it's just funny because my nobody in my family being a musician, they were like, oh, we'll just get her an acoustic guitar. But it was like so big on me that my guitar
Oh,
teacher was
sure.
like, maybe we should get her like a smaller guitar. But I just grew into it. And it was super easy after learning acoustic guitar to go to like electric guitar, like
Right.
it was kind of like starting me off with like the hard stuff. So yeah, it was like a smoother transition. So yeah, that's funny though. My guitar was like way big on me. But
Yeah.
yeah, it
I
was
can
just
imagine just being like acoustics are huge. They make smaller guitars now. Or
yeah.
maybe they even did then, but it's just interesting to think like in some of the acoustic guitars, like the action is super high, so you have to be able to push really hard on the strings, or the
Yeah.
neck's really fat. Because I have a 7-year-old, I'm trying to think like he trying to get him, and he plays drums. He loves
Oh my
drums, and he's
gosh.
interested in piano a little bit, which is cool. But I don't want to I feel like if I give him lessons, he's gonna have the same experience as like a lot of people that I've interviewed that are like, yeah, and then I was just like sick of it after X amount of time. But he's
Yeah.
interested in guitar, but I feel like the guitars are a bit big, but I'll have to do some more
Yeah.
research on it.
Oh
But
my gosh. Yeah. No, I mean, that's so exciting, first of all, like that, he wants to play guitar and everything. That's amazing.
yeah, I know I definitely want to push him towards that. But
Yeah.
so you learned it at you said 9. Were you just
Mhm.
learning cover songs or like what drew you to want to play guitar? Were you in super into certain artists or
Yeah. Okay, so I actually wrote like my first song at like 8 years old.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I was like, I was like, I knew that I wanted to write songs and I was like, I want to do this. And I saw guitar as like a facet or like a something that will help me be able
Yeah,
to like
like a
put my
vehicle to,
songs.
like, help you write the song to, like, make it make sense or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, like to help, make these songs come to life.
Sure.
So, it was really like, I want to play guitar so that I can put like music to my songs. So yeah, it was just funny because I would write these songs and it would be like, I don't have anything to put it like underneath. Like it was just,
Mhm.
yeah, but that's kind of what inspired me too.
Wow, and did you just keep doing that? Like, once you instead of learning maybe, like, cover songs or whatever, you really wanted you knew that you wanted to write songs. So was that something that you just continued to do through I mean, at 9 going into, say, middle school, then into high school, were you the person that was writing songs and showing them to people or
Yeah, it's so funny because for a while I kind of like hid it from my classmates because like somehow somewhere someone told someone that I was writing songs and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that is so embarrassing." And I really tried to be like, "I don't do that," but like I was writing songs.
Mhm.
Um and yeah, like I don't know if that answers your question, but
No,
yeah,
it
like
does. Yeah, you were doing it, but maybe you didn't have the confidence yet to show someone the song.
yeah, and I think there was just like a moment I think where it clicked where I was like, I can't deny who I am. I'm a songwriter. And I think like really like towards the end of middle school, because I think middle school is kind of funny for everyone, but towards the
Oh,
end
it's
I
the
was
most
like,
brutal years, I think,
yeah,
of your life, right? I mean, people are
yeah,
mean and like you're really trying to get. I don't know. Even in high school, you don't really know who you are. I mean, at least I didn't. But like, I
yeah.
mean, I feel like middle school is even worse.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. No, I mean, I didn't know really who I was in high school, but in middle school, I was like, I was like, I don't know what I want to do, even though it was
Mhm.
very blatantly obvious of what I wanted to do. And yeah, it's funny. I think like in high school, I got in our yearbook, I'm like, they give out these like awards to
Oh
like
yeah, the
most creative,
senior
blah, blah, blah.
standout type things. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think me and another kid from my class won like most likely to sell out Madison Square
Oh,
Garden.
that's
And I
rad. So
was
you were obviously people knew that you were doing what you're doing, and they
yeah, which was
thought you were good
so
enough at it.
yeah, I was so surprised though because I was like I didn't even know that people like really knew that like I did this or like thought that was any good. So it was just really surprising because I wasn't like super popular or whatnot. So it was really surprising to me. Yeah.
Wow. When so you obviously were showing people your songs at that point. Were you posting songs online or were you playing out around the Bay Area at all? Or like when did do you remember getting the confidence to even show someone your song for the first time?
Yeah, so definitely the first people that I would show would be my parents. I'd be like, "Hey, mom and dad, I wrote this song." Or my dad would like it was more so my dad was like, "Hey, what are you writing?" Or like he would be very like,
Oh, that's
check
cool. So
in,
he's
you
yeah,
know.
encouraging at least.
Yeah, it was like really encouraging. And so they were both like, pushing me to like go for my dreams, which is I feel like it's kind of rare in music for parents to be as supportive as my parents were.
Very rare.
Yeah. And so um oh my gosh, I totally forgot what you were saying. You were
Oh, as
asking.
if the like first sorry, I interrupted you. I was gonna say
No,
the
no,
first time
no.
you remembered like having the confidence to show somebody your song, you're saying you would show your dad or your parents, they would come in and be like, "Oh, this is great," or "What are you working
Yeah.
on?" But like outside of the, kind of the comfort of your own household, like
Right.
showing a peer of yours or somebody else that this is what I do and what do you think of this?
Yeah. No, I think I started like by, doing open mics. There was like one open mic in particular over here. Do you know where Saratoga is?
Yes.
So there's this place called Blue Rock Shoe. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It was like a small little coffee shop, and they did these like
I don't.
open.
I know where the area is.
Okay,
Sarah, yeah, yeah, okay.
yeah, Saratoga, yeah. So
Yeah.
like up against the mountains, uh,
Sure.
and yeah, they just had like this open mic over there, and I would go every Thursday with my dad, and then that eventually turned into like little shows. And at the age of 16, me and my dad were like, hey, maybe I should release something like on Spotify.
Mhm.
And so me and him, we put together a Kickstarter campaign. And so then obviously when I'm, with a crowdfunding thing, if you don't know, yeah, I
Yeah, 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 yeah.
probably know what
Yeah,
Kickstarter is.
Kickstarter or what's the other one that they GoFundMe.
Um,
That was the later
yeah,
one, but yeah, yeah, I know
yeah,
exactly what you're
yeah.
talking about. Sure.
But I don't know, like obviously I had to share it and everything, and I raised all this money. I put it up on Spotify. So I'm like, I mean, yeah, it was,
That's cool that you put it
yeah,
out, you put a Kickstarter out and what just threw it up on the internet in hopes that people did you have some snippet of a song up there that people could go, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna get behind
yeah.
this." Oh
Yeah,
wow.
I had one song that I had like professionally recorded in like a professional studio. Um,
Hmm.
that was just like it was just like down the street from me. And so it was the music was very different from what I do now, but it was cool to be like, hey, like this is what I'm trying to do. And then people wanting to, I guess, quote unquote, invest in it.
Yeah,
So
support
yeah.
it at least. Wow. So was that the airplane mode EP, or was this late? That was way before that.
So this is actually way before that.
Okay, I figured as much, but I
I
figured out because I was like, that's only a few years ago. But I just wanted to ask.
Yeah, no, so the album or the EP name was Stories Never Told, and it's like it's so funny. I like on the artwork, I don't know, I look pretty similar, like the same, but it's just like it's very much like kind of folk,
Oh, okay.
like very acoustic. So it's like very different than what I used to do. So it's I think it is like I've tried to strip the internet of
Okay.
finding it just because it's like I'm literally 16 years old. So my
Right.
voice not very mature. I sound very different. My
Okay.
writing is very different. So yeah, I don't know if anyone can find it, but yeah.
You scrubbed it from the internet, at least
Yes.
from Spotify. I don't see it there.
Yes.
Okay. So you did that, and was that, it must have been, I mean, awesome to even, you sound like you already had a song, but to go in and raise money, and okay, people
Yeah.
are, behind this, and you get to record this EP, and were you like sharing it around your school, or like, I mean,
Yeah.
to get that award, like most likely to sell Madison Square Garden, obviously you're showing it to people enough to where they knew you were doing what you're doing.
Yeah, no, I think when the EP came out, I was like, I was posting about it on social media and I was like, this is really cool. And I had like at the time, it wasn't that long ago, but I feel like CDs were still sort of a thing.
Hmm.
And so I would like,
Burn them and
I remember giving my teachers CDs. Like I think that it came out my junior year, so that would have made like the end of my senior year. I was like giving out these CDs to my teachers, and I was saying goodbye, and
that's
I was not
awesome.
great at school, so I was like, hopefully this
Yeah.
you still like me. Here's a CD.
Yeah, this music
Um,
thing pans out. Here you go.
yeah. So yeah, I was open about it, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Yeah, it was definitely funny. Just trying to just to see how far I've come from that. Yeah.
Sure, sure. So when you
Yeah.
graduate high school, what's your next move?
Yeah. So, okay, my mom is like, I'm all in support of you doing music, but you need to like at least go to community college. And so I was like, okay. I did one engineering class and it was just so I mean, it wasn't like this school that I went to was like super specialized in like music engineering or anything.
Okay.
But
So
it
it was
was
like an
like,
audio engineering type class?
yeah, it was
Okay. It
like how
wasn't
to
like,
use like,
yeah, okay, got it.
yeah, logic. And I was like, okay, sweet. And so like I went in there and a lot of I was like one of the only two females. I don't
I'm
know
not
if this
surprised.
is gonna say like but like women in this class. And yeah, I got like made fun of a lot by the guys. So it was like
I always
I was
find that
like,
fascinating, like because
yeah,
I like female producers that go into it. It's like I have a MacBook and I have GarageBand on my computer, and then I could just start telling people like, "Oh yeah, I'm a producer.
yeah,
I produce music," and even I don't know what the hell I have no clue what the hell I'm doing. I could just drag and drop loops, right? But then I feel like as a female, you have to really prove yourself more than I don't know. It's just it's weird. I
it's
guess is all
true
I'm
though.
saying.
Yeah. It's so funny because like even to this day, like I mean, now I record all my vocals. Like I mean, I'm not amazing at, I wouldn't say I'm like the best ever at recording vocals, but I will say I'm very like experienced and still
Yeah, you've
sometimes
been
the way
doing
I
it, and
gotta prove
it's
myself,
right, right.
like, oh my gosh. Um, but yeah, so that's totally, yeah, that's the exact feeling. I was like, oh my gosh. And so I stopped showing up. to the class. And I dropped out and I was like, this is so stupid. Especially because I was going down to LA to record with some producers I had met through a it was like a workshop or something. I just started going down to LA to work with them. So I was like, I don't need this. Like I was
Right. I don't need this community college class. I'm already going out to LA and working with producers.
yeah, yeah. It was just like, you know what? I don't want to be made fun of. I'm just gonna find someone else to do all the hard stuff. But yeah, like so yeah, I didn't really go to school. I like jumped right into music.
Okay. And what was the
Yeah.
first like I know your voice is featured on a lot of things. Was that kind of where it started? Were you like top lining for DJs or like where did your like kind of first moment or little break happen?
Yeah. So, okay. After I graduated high school and I just started getting into like going to LA and doing music on my own. I had like around like 3 or 4 years where I was just doing my solo projects. And I was like, this is what I want to do. And this is like what I'm most passionate about. And
Mhm.
I still am very passionate about it. Obviously. So
Sure.
I did, I was doing that for a while and I kind of like hit a roadblock where I was just like, like no one's hearing my songs. This is like very candid, but like, like no one's hearing my songs. I'm trying really hard. Um, and I just want to try as many things as possible to see if like, anything picks up.
Uh-huh.
And so I did I think it was in 2020. When the pandemic happened, I was like, I had never even touched a computer before to record my own vocals because I was kind of scared off by that engineering class. I was like, oh, I don't want to do it. I can't do it. Um,
Yeah.
but when the pandemic hit, I was like, I'm gonna start I'm gonna start recording myself and I'm gonna reach out to as many producers as possible because I want to just collaborate with someone and make something with someone. And I sent out a lot of cold emails and got
And
very little replies. But then like,
how are you finding sorry to cut you off,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
how are you finding these people? Was it just like on SoundCloud or something?
It was literally, I think it was through Spotify. Like I would find people through Spotify and then find their Instagram and then
Oh,
I'm
okay. And
just a
then
good
reach out to
stalker.
them that way. Yeah, yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
resourceful.
Yeah. Well, yes. That I don't mean to sound scary or anything, but I was just
No.
like, like if they want to work with me, great. If not, like no big deal. Like I just want to see, who's willing to. And so from there, like I just reached out to a lot of people and I got a lot of no's. I got a lot of like me set like spending hours and days on this one track and then they wouldn't even respond to me. It's like there
Oh,
was a
wow.
lot of that at the beginning when I was just starting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, because you hit a roadblock, then you're trying to do that. And I would imagine you might, you said you're kind of feeling like, oh, no one's hearing these songs. I'm doing this and not really getting much of a response. Like, what was kind of the thing that at that point was some moment happened that, validated what you were doing and kind of gave you more of a like, oh, okay, like finally something's working out. Let's keep doing this.
Yeah. So I think in the summer of 2020, I finally started these tracks. Like I finally got a few people to work with me
Uh-huh.
just on some like the more like EDM collaboration stuff. And they started coming out and a few of them did pretty well. These artists or producers, they were, with a label or these songs were like tied to a label. And I was like, okay, sweet, like let's just try it out. And it started to pick up, but I guess like a moment that you're talking about where it's like, oh wow, like this is actually really working. Um, was a moment when I was working with um it was an artist, and it turns out that he was an A&R. And I was
Oh,
like, oh, sweet, awesome. And he was like, hey, actually, like, I'm an A&R. Like, I would love if you would work on this one track with Gabriel Ponte. And I don't know if you know who Gabriel Ponte is, but
yeah, yeah, I know who it is. But you
yeah, yeah,
tell
yeah.
the audience if they don't
Well,
know,
okay, so
so
he
they don't
does.
have to Google him.
I don't know. It's like people when they obviously when they see him, they're like, "Oh yeah, I know who he is." But
Right.
when you say his name, sometimes it doesn't click as much. But he's the guy who
Sure.
does the well, he does the
Yeah.
remix, like the famous
The
remix of Blue,
yeah.
and so I was like, "Sweet, yes." And so I worked with him on that track, and it ended up getting passed on, like him to Gabriel Ponte and with Timmy Trumpet. And so that song, I think as of last week, just hit over 100 million streams. Or like, oh, like it's like 15 million streams. So that was
Wow.
probably a moment when it happened. I was like, wow, like this is so cool. That I was like, oh wow, like this is a cool thing to be like, I've done this, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's wow. Okay, so when that happened, you were like, okay, this is doing. Did it take off right away, or was it something that kind of took a little bit of time, or?
Well, so it kind of just it took off like like instantly, just because I think of like how big these artists are.
Okay.
Um, you know, I'm I mean, like I'll be the one to say it. Like my name is not on the song. Even in the credits on some of like when you look at it, it's like my name is not credited and in some of the credits. And so like that was a little like, oh shoot, like, but it was like cool to be like, hey, I've done this. But it was just a lot of mixed emotions, but to be able to feel like, hey, I'm able to do this. Like I can do these big projects. Um,
Yeah. Well,
it
because
was like
it
really
was
validating.
it was the Tears for Fears cover.
Yes. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So yeah, that happened.
That's huge, though.
Yeah.
So yeah, that must have been like, okay, this is crazy. Like, yeah, it has like 100 million whatever streams or over 100
Yeah.
million streams, and that's doing really well. And then, so once you get that validation, are you like, okay, I want to? When do you go back to, or have you always been working kind of on your solo stuff in limbo, or like in like parallel with the other projects that you've been working on as well?
Yeah. So on my solo stuff, like I was always working on it in the background. I was always like, this is like my passion, like I still want to do this. And so I think it took me a while to get that confidence back, because I was like, I didn't release music solo for like 2 years, while I was just trying to work with other producers. And I finally in I think it was the end of 2021, I finally released like a song. It's called Stop and Go.
Hmm.
That is more of like a pop kind of thing that was just me. And I have learned a ton since then. So yeah, it definitely took me a while to get that confidence back, to be like, okay, like, I just gotta be I gotta be okay with like there's no label on this. Like this is fully independent. This is not a collaboration. I had to like relearn how to do a ton of things, especially with like now TikTok and all the things that have come about. Like I've just been, learning as I've been releasing songs.
Hmm. Well, because you put
Yeah.
an EP out with that song on it, right?
Yes, yeah.
Synesthesia. Yeah.
Yeah. So excuse me, I released an EP called Synthesia, and it was really that whole project was the reason why it's called Synthesia is because all the songs are very different
Uh-huh.
and I guess represent different colors. And so it was kind of like I didn't really know what to put out, because I was kind of like, I'm not really sure. So all the songs sound very different, but I was like,
Uh-huh.
cohesively they kind of fit together. So that's why they're all like together on that EP.
Okay. Yeah, because that's like when you like what we hear music and you see like shapes and colors, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that,
yeah,
yeah, okay. What I
yeah.
thought.
So like each song like represents kind of like a different color. Like one song is like Stop and Go is like definitely very moody, and so that one's like red, and then
Right.
there's like all the other songs kind of represent something else that kind of came with that emotion of the songs.
Okay. Yeah, because you have I mean, you've been putting songs out throughout the years, and some of them are featured with a featured artist or have another artist on them. At least I'm just going on like according to your Spotify. But then that one, you had that whole body of work there, and then but you've also put out other singles. So it does seem like you were kind of wearing two hats in that sense. Like you're writing your own songs, but
Yeah.
you're also working with other people.
Yeah, no, definitely. And at first when I went back to my pop stuff, I thought, oh, this might be easier because like I have more of a platform, but it was almost in a sense like starting back over because for a long time I ignored putting out all my solo stuff. So it's like, it's taught me a lot of like, I can't just I can't just stop working on it. Like I gotta just keep going. And I think the reason why I stopped is for a while I didn't really believe in myself, and like that's just like that's a lie. Like don't listen to that. You can't listen to that if you're gonna
Mhm.
work in music. You just got to keep going.
Was there like a point when you decided that, you know what, when you kind of built that confidence back, or just after certain amount of time, it was like, I'm just going to go back to do this. I know I should be doing this.
I don't know if it was as much confidence because I still I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so cringe, or like, like I still get that like feeling, but I think it's more of like a desire to well, I guess let me backtrack just a little bit. Like
Uh-huh.
with this song that I recently came out with, like
Uh-huh. Yeah, I
it
want to
was
talk to you about that one right now too.
yeah,
So
well, maybe it's not backtracking,
perfect
maybe like jumping
transition.
forward, transitioning. But with that song, like it was for me, it was more of a need to like cope and help other people. Like that's the desire that I have for my music, is to use the songs that I've created to like help me cope with things I'm going through and help other people heal and cope through what they're going through. So that it was more of a like I guess an emotional drive, which
Mhm.
business wise maybe it's not the best decision, but I'm like I need to release this stuff. Like I cannot let this sit in my Dropbox for years and years to come. Like
Yeah, no, I think that's a better method too, a better reason to put it out. It's like, I'm not going to put this out because it's a whatever business.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. Yeah.
just to do it to do it. And I mean, you've had a lot of support on the song, and you teamed up with Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. I saw that as well, which is amazing. And
Yeah.
do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. So we're still kind of figuring out exactly what we're doing together, but yeah, for those who don't know, I have an autoimmune disease called Crohn's disease. And this actually, I was diagnosed a year ago. And so I really thought like, oh, this is really no big deal. Like I'm going to be fine.
Mhm.
Which I am fine. But the treatment that I had to go through over the past year, for, for the disease has been a lot more tolling than I anticipated. So basically I go in for infusions
Yeah.
it was like every 2 weeks, every 4 weeks, every 6 weeks, every 8 weeks. So, and then that is just until the end of time, until my medication stops working. So that was a really tough pill to swallow. And so when it came to my music, I was like, I want to write about stuff that matters and stuff that like feels genuine to me.
Mhm.
And when, I was like, I want to work with the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, it just like at first I used to feel embarrassed about it, about my disease. And then I came to terms of like, I need to help people like me because I didn't have a ton of people around me when I was diagnosed that
Uh-huh.
talked about it. And so,
Right.
yeah, so that's kind of what made me want to work with them.
Yeah, I think more people have it than people even imagine. I mean, I know two people are right off the top of my head that have Crohn's, and it's
Yeah,
like,
it's wild. Yeah.
yeah, like my wife's best friend has it. I didn't know until she told me. You would have never guessed. I mean, but it's just something that she has to deal with.
Yeah, no, I like I I don't know. I posted about it when I finally posted about it, and I thought long and hard about it. I'm like, do I really want to talk about this? Like, but I finally did, and the amount of, weirdly enough, musicians that reach out to me that were like, me too, I have it.
Oh
Um,
wow.
was just so, like, it was like around 10 people, which it was far more than I thought people had. I
Yeah,
was like, oh
exactly.
my gosh. And so it really, for the longest time, I felt really isolated and alone. I'm like, that is not true. Like, not that it's like a good thing that people have it, but that, other people can find solace and sympathy and be with you in that, like you're not alone.
Right. Right. No,
Yeah.
and I think this song is incredible. The lyrics are really, really cool and just like really, get you thinking for sure. Like, when you say, does my therapist need therapy because of me? And then you talk about like the who prescribes the prescriptions to the,
Yeah.
pharmacist, or who do the doctors go for treatment? Like these all things that like you wouldn't, I mean, you don't really think of off, when you're thinking of those moments. Like I just think it's a really cool concept, and it's a really good song.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I appreciate it. That was definitely, like, just to kind of like talk more about my song. Like, I wrote that song when I started going to therapy, because I emotionally, with treatment, I was like, wow, this is a lot.
Mhm.
Um, and so, like, it just, when I had never gone to therapy before. So when I started going, I was like, who does this person, who does my therapist go to and see? Like, it was just like, and then it was like, wow, who do the doctors who treat me, where do they go? Like, it just makes you think, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really, it's a really cool and creative perspective on it. But I just because I'm a huge Taylor Swift fan, I saw
Yeah.
the video you did where you like mashed up your song with Anti-Hero, and I was like, how is this gonna work? And I was like, damn, like it's the way you sing it and the way that you match those lyrics to your own, like the I guess it's inflection, or the
Yeah.
way that you pronounce, or the way that you sing the Taylor Swift lyrics in the same melody of your own
Yeah.
song and then intertwine. I was really impressed. I was like, damn, this is really cool.
Thank you so much. No, I usually am not like, I feel like mashups sometimes can be very random, but I was like, wait, this really works because what she's talking about lyrically in her song Anti-Hero. And with mine, I was like, this is very similar.
Uh-huh.
So I'm glad that it worked out, because that was very, lucky on my end.
Yeah, no, it was
Good. Yeah.
coul. I thought it was
Thank
really cool.
you. Thank you
Is
so much.
are you putting out like a full another EP or anything, or is this one single of many, or where are you at as far as writing and what you have coming out
Yeah.
soon?
So, Do Therapist is, I definitely feel like it's the start of a new era for me. I like to think of things in eras because of Taylor Swift and I love her.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like, I have a handful of other singles that go hand in hand with Do Therapist, because everything that I went through last year, really, I don't know. I feel like when we're put under a lot of pressure, I don't know, we see like the problems are like exposed, or like you see like
Hmm.
all this stuff come out. And for me, that was like, um, my, like stuff with like therapy, like mental health issues, um, with with Crohn's, like I struggled a lot with body image. Like there was like all these other things. And I was like, you know what? Like, I want to put these out. So as far as I know right now, that there will be more singles. As far as an EP, I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be a whole project together. It does feel very cohesive, so it may be, but I'm kind of really playing things by ear at the moment, just to kind of see how people respond to it. And yeah, like my goal is just for people to feel not alone in what they're going through if they deal with like similar issues.
Love that. And you're obviously still working with other people on other projects, as you just put out
Yes.
old friends
Yeah.
is, recently came out. And
Yes.
so you're
Yeah.
doing other things with other producers and artists as well, it sounds like, or looks like.
Yeah. No, I definitely am. Like I am I still really love EDM and I love doing collaborations. I just I think my main focus has definitely been shifted from just doing that to like tying everything together. Like EDM and collaborations like is a part of who I am, and the solo stuff, like that's who I am as an artist. And trying to, I mean, that has been kind of difficult, kind of trying to intertwine the two. But it's all a part about it's all a part of me,
Mhm.
at the end of the day. So yeah, I will be continuing to do collaborations. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Jules, for doing this. I appreciate your time.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time, and this is really great. I was really excited to do this.
No, thank you. I have one more question before I let you go, though. Do you have any advice for aspiring artists?
Ooh, that is a good one, especially because I've been learning a lot of lessons recently. um, I think I think it's probably like I have two things, but the first thing I think is to throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. Try as many things as possible. I think that has been like the best thing for me. And second, well, okay, three things. Second thing is don't be too precious with your projects. Like don't I think like sometimes when we're too precious with songs or with projects, we think it's do or die, or it's like it's all or nothing. And it's like that's great for you to believe in your project, but like you are more than just your music or your job or your career. And then lastly, I would say be careful who you pick around you, like the people that you work with. Because you just I don't know, just be careful who you let into like that circle of trust, if that makes sense. So yeah.
Bringing it backward.